Ashley, Aireonna, and welcome to another review. This is day 5 of 49ers training camp, and it is day 1 with the pads on. So it's going to start to get real from here on out. We're actually seeing people be able to have a little bit more force. You can't fully tackle yet, although no one tell D winners that. I think the 49ers like that he's towing the line. A little bit of a Dre Greenlaw in there, but we'll talk about him more in a little bit. This is my instant reaction to day 5 of 49ers training camp. So Brock Purdy had some really impressive throws. He had a great bomb to George Kittle. Him and George Kittle have been really in sync this training camp. They actually opened up training camp with a passing play and the very first offensive play of training camp a couple days ago, and it was a bomb from Brock Purdy to George Kittle. Normally the first offensive play is a run play. So I like that we're seeing Kittle more involved every single day now. He's been involved in the passing game. To me, I mean, the 49ers don't have any wide receivers, so they're going to need Kittle to be involved in the passing game. And I've been asking for Kittle to get anywhere from 8 to 15 targets a game for the last 3 years, especially in the red zone. He's such a big body guy. He might not be the fastest, like as fast as Brandon Ayuk before Brandon Ayuk got injured, obviously, but he can power through guys still. And I just think there's like a will and energy to George Kittle that is really important on the field. And I like that him and Brock Purdy are seemingly keeping up their great connection, because Kittle has had, a career resurgence the last 2 years with Brock Purdy being the quarterback. I think some of that is Brock Purdy throws a little bit less throws in traffic. There's still obviously a lot of over the middle throws because that's just Kyle Shanahan's offense. But, Jimmy Garoppolo sometimes was getting George Kittle killed, which I forgot to use this entire time. Hopefully you could hear me. Which I think is helping with Kittle's longevity in the NFL. So Brock Purdy, great bomb to Kittle. Also to not to Jennings. Jennings was out with a calf injury still. A week ago, I said on here, I've said every day that I thought they were going to pay Juwan Jennings. I thought the reason he didn't hold out or hold in is they had some sort of backdoor deal, and they knew, Juwan Jennings knew they were finalizing a deal. And I thought it was going to get announced this morning or last night, right before padded practice. A lot of times the 49ers let things go on to the final whistle, the deadline. And usually the first day of pads is the deadline. Some people were hoping that the calf injury that held him out yesterday's practice was not a real calf injury, and that they were actually finalizing the deal, and that's why he was out. He was signing the paper and they were going to announce it. Turns out I think that calf injury is real. I mean, it kept him out of day 2 of minicamp earlier this offseason, and it seems legit, which is heartbreaking for Juwan Jennings, because he's in a situation where the 49ers don't have any wide receivers, and you'd think that Jennings would have a payday, but he's a 28-year-old wide receiver that's already struggled with speed before his injury. Now he has a calf injury. When I hear that from the 49ers, I get scared, because I think of Achilles, and I think of Achilles tendonitis, and going in and out of training camp and mini camp. That's exactly what happened with Christian McCaffrey last year. I'm crossing my fingers. I hope Juwan is fine, and it really is a minor tweak, but there was no extension announced for him, and now I'm doubting that he'll even get an extension. I think he's just trying to hopefully get healthy. So Brock Purdy, another good connection that he's been building is with Ricky Pearsall out there. Pearsall did not participate in the entire practice, which I kind of found upsetting, because he didn't participate at all in one-on-one drills his rookie year last year either, even before he got shot, because the wide receivers coach Leonard Hankerson kind of had said basically he wasn't ready, and they were kind of trying to ramp him up. This was before he got shot. Eventually he's going to need to be out there with the starters, and on one-on-ones. I don't know. Obviously he had that hamstring injury. It didn't look like he re-aggravated it at all today. He looked very healthy. The passes that he did catch from Brock Purdy were really good, but he needs to be able to participate in an entire practice. And then he needs to be able to participate in game after game and practices all throughout the week and prove that he can stay healthy with that level of workload. And the fact that, he's only practicing for one day and then the next day they're holding him back kind of scares me I don't know if he's fully healthy or if they're just being really careful, but hopefully by the time the season starts, Ricky Pearsall can prove that he is reliable. The 49ers could have drafted Cooper DeJean. Obviously, a lot of 49er fans thought that that's who they were going to draft in the first round. And NFL just announced him as, I think he's number 66, as the top 100 voted by his peers and other NFL players. Cooper DeJean is number 66 out of 100 players that were nominated. Ricky Pearsall, obviously only played in like 3 games last year. So hopefully this year he can live up to that first round status because they clearly need him in that wide receiver room. Brock Purdy, aside from the good connection that he had with Pearsall and Kittle, congratulations are in order, by the way. He just had a baby. That's why he was out for personal reasons. We weren't sure what was going on. I kind of, guessed. I know he was recently married within the year or a year ago. And so I guess that maybe that could be the news. But I'm glad there was no complications. His wife just gave birth. That's why he was out 2 days ago. So congratulations to Brock Purdy for that. He played like he was a little bit tired, which I think is understandable. And I think by the time I think within the next couple of weeks, they'll get that sorted out. But aside from the 2 good connections he had, he was still 7 of 15 with an interception. And I don't love that he's throwing interceptions in camp. I know some people don't care about them if you're, really trying to give your wide receiver a chance. But these are kind of more like he's not seeing the linebacker. And those interceptions are a little bit more scary because to me, it's not like you're testing something and just trying to test your, build your connection with a wide receiver. You're just throwing a normal ball where you normally would and accidentally not seeing the linebacker, which Jimmy Garoppolo did a lot. Now I'm giving him a pass on today because, fatherhood, and it's only been 48 hours or 24 hours since he, just became a girl dad. So, but I do want to be honest about what happened. So the interception was tipped by Jason Pinnock, who I think is going to end up being a starter on this team. He's been pointed out by beat reporters every single day in the last 5 days of training camp. He's definitely making, a claim for that starting safety role. So Jason Pinnock tipped it to D Winters. D Winters also had a really good day today. And so that was the interception. Mac Jones was 14 of 18, and people said that he looked pretty good. Then I said, Juwan Jennings really is struggling with calf injury. So hopefully he'll be back on the field soon. If I'm the 49ers, I'm trying to get him to play out his contract. He has another year on his deal. I don't think that they're going to want to pay him. And I don't know if he has a leg to stand on right now to try to force them to pay him since he's injured. Ricky Pearsall, like I said, didn't do one-on-one drills, only did half of 11 on 11s. So that's concerning to me because I want to know his body can handle for full workload. But when he was out there, he looked good. So that's, promising. Michael Williams looked really great in pads. He's a huge guy. Robert Saleh was asked about the DeForest Buckner comp. He actually compared body-wise him more to Eric Armstead, but obviously said, those guys are vets and he doesn't want to make any actual comparisons, but physically wise, that's what he said. Michael Williams did look good, but he went against the second team today. He's been playing against the first team, so I don't know if there's something on film that they decided they wanted to, give him a little bit more warm up before he went against the first team. But something to note, CJ West, everyone loved CJ West today. They said he looked incredible. He was a beast. He went against the first stringers. He beat McKivitz. He beat Pooney. Pooney was, fantastic last year, his rookie year. So great for CJ West. Hopefully we continue to see more of that. When the pads start coming on, we see a lot more of this physicality. Even if you can't go 100%, you still are, getting hints. Like I said, D Winters, he had a violent big hit in practice. You're not supposed to actually fully hit. But I think the 49ers are okay with it because Dre Greenlaw used to kind of toe the line, and they have Fred Warner, who's very professional. And I think they want not like a line stepper, but someone who's going to, put some fear into you. So D Winters can stay healthy. I think he's definitely going to take that linebacker role on the other side of Drake Greenlaw. And then Upton Stout, rookie from, drafted this year. He broke up a pass from Brock to Ricky. He was playing with the first team. And I think he's probably going to be the starting slot corner on this team, on the team this year. He's been making a good case for himself. So gotta love that. Isaiah Nair is a wide receiver undrafted that people have been looking at because he does have some special splash play talent splash play talent. He was super athletically gifted, but didn't really produce in college. Mostly because of injuries, but he's been healthy this offseason, but he had 2 drops today. But still, I mean, runs really fast, looks really physical. So he'll be someone to keep an eye out on, especially with a lot of the wide receivers going in and out because of the soft tissue injuries. That's my takeaway. Upton Stout, rookie, looking great. This defense looking great. CJ West going against the first team, looking super dominant. There was also a tweet going around. I didn't see it. I was paying attention to something else that Michael Williams beat Trent Williams in a one-on-one. Now, everything that I've heard from other people that were watching the whole time said Michael Williams didn't go against the first team. So I don't know. Maybe this was like in warm-ups and they were just practicing. I have to get more information on that. Also, I was asked about Yatura Gross Matos yesterday. He's still unhealthy. That's why he hasn't been on the field, but he's been in the training room. Day 2 of practice is tomorrow, and I think that's going to be it's going to be the longer day tomorrow. Kyle said that they like to have an off day and then a ramp up day and then full force then the rest day. So they have 3 days on, 1 day off, and that's how they like to structure it. So I'll be giving you guys the takeaways from day 6 of camp and day 2 of pads tomorrow. But those are my immediate takeaways. Once again, congratulations to Brock Purdy. Also, Taron Jackson, he injured his neck and was rushed to Stanford Hospital yesterday. He's been released from Stanford Hospital and is recovering at home. He was not at practice, but he's good enough to go home. So thank God for that. Those are all my updates. And please give me a like, give me subscribe, because I'll be trying to give you guys one of these after every practice. Tomorrow I'll be going live and doing a longer, hour and a half stream with Tom Jensen from Sports Illustrated. So make sure to tune into that, because we'll really break down everything even more in depth. But I really appreciate you guys. Have a great start to your week, and bye.